a cheat sheet today, by the way. That's because we're going to be talking about compassion, and compassion is so important that I want to be sure to bring up certain points and not forget them, so therefore the cheat sheet. When we're talking about compassion, first of all, and most importantly, one has to be compassionate with oneself. You build relationships all around you, but the relationship you build with yourself is the most important one. And if you're gentle in your relationships with others, you should be gentle you should be gentle in your own self, with your own self. If you're interested in others, you should be interested in what you're doing. You should seek validation for your feelings. If you're questioning in any way something you're doing, or if you're feeling guilty about something, reach out and talk to someone who you know understands and can give you validation for your feelings. Am I on target so far?
A little bit off, but it's okay.
Okay, well, tell me where I'm off.
You're a little bit off about the compassion toward yourself. But go ahead.
Compassion towards oneself keeps you from beating yourself. There's a difference between guilt and shame. And a little bit of guilt doesn't hurt, but shaming is bad. Shaming doesn't promote anything. Guilt pushes the message forward. It advances the plot. But if you're ashamed, you have a tendency to withdraw like a turtle. You pull your head in, and you don't seek answers for the reason that you have that shame. And so what I'm saying is, what you want to practice with others, you should practice with yourself. If you have an easy manner of speaking with people, or if you're compassionate toward others in your speech and in your behavior, why can't that translate to yourself? It doesn't mean that you should think that everything you do is wonderful, but it does prevent shaming.
Okay.
A little clearer?
A little clearer. I'll give you an A.
Okay. So another point is to be fair to yourself. And that doesn't mean that it always has to come out on your side, but be fair. If you're fair with others, be fair to yourself. And apologize less. Have you known people that it's raining outside, I'm sorry, that apologize for everything? People apologize to their dogs. People apologize to their cats. Well, I mean, I'm an animal lover too, but I guess I would too. But some people apologize for everything, and things that aren't even their fault. They're just willing to take the blame to avoid confrontation. Or is there another reason?
No. You know, when you talk about compassion, I think as a clergyman, compassion has to be an integral part of one's ministry. I know young priests, when they go to their first parish, start laying down the law. I know of an incident recently where some people from the Church of the Malabar were going to our church, and they were fully participating in the community. And when the new priest came, he told them they weren't welcome in the church because they weren't quote unquote orthodox enough. For me, that's a total lack of compassion.
It is.
Those people were going to the church, supporting the church, loving the church. He never even asked them if they wanted to become Orthodox or not. He just assumed they were heretics and basically just kicked them out of the church.
That's an absolute lack of compassion. I just want to get back for a minute.
Go ahead.
To having compassion with oneself, because I think that so few people do. So few people are so ready to take the blame in order to avoid confrontation. And one of the things that you can do to be compassionate toward yourself is to describe to others what you want from them. Because people will only expect from you what you lead them to believe they can expect. And encourage others to help you. Don't be afraid to reach out. Ask for what's wanted. And be sure that you're willing to do that for others. Be sure that you're willing to reinforce other people when they need it and to validate their feelings. That doesn't discount honesty, because honesty is very important, but honesty without compassion is cruelty. Honesty with spoken without compassion is simply cruelty.
You know that compassion is formed from two different words.
Which two?
Come being with passion. That if you one were to read Isaac the Syrian, he talks about a Christian loving all creation, even the littlest insect, embracing the whole world with love and compassion, and especially a fellow man. And Dostoevsky picked that theme up in some of his books that have been handed down to us from Russian literature of the 20th century, 19th and 20th century. The compassion is a extremely important virtue in really understanding your own soul, and your soul to be large enough to be inclusive, not exclusive. That's the beauty of our Orthodox Christian faith, because so much is emphasized on love, love, love.
Well, there has to be, love doesn't exist without compassion. I mean, true love doesn't exist without compassion. And some of the ways, besides being compassionate toward yourself, some of the ways that you can be compassionate to other people is to have a willingness to tolerate not getting your own way all the time. And to observe what's going on both inside and around you.
Who's the most compassionate person you ever met?
That's hard. I don't know. I can't think of the most compassionate person I've ever met. My mother.
Besides your mother.
Who's the most compassionate?
I'm asking you the question.
My Aunt Louise. Those people are compassionate to a fault. They excuse everything. Who's the most compassionate person you ever met?
I don't know.
Okay, it's hard. It's not easy to think of it because compassion isn't something that's outward. That's obvious. It's only obvious under certain circumstances.
The most compassionate person I ever met was Patriarch Elias IV.
And what did he do that made you feel he was so compassionate?
Just his whole mannerism towards people. Him and Patriarch Ignatius were unique in the way they addressed their people.
May I have an example?
Well, once when he was Elias IV was still a priest, there was a school. Maybe he was a bishop then, but there was a school in his diocese called Saint Pantaleon, and it caught on fire. And there was full of students in that, in that building. And in Lebanon, they had looked like prison bars on the window, so the kids couldn't jump out and run away. He actually broke that wall down with his own bare hands and saved the lives of those children. And in order to
that was a feat of courage. Sure, it was compassion, but that was a feat of courage. But I would like to hear how you said he's the most compassionate person you've ever met.
He had a lot of love in him, and he shared that love. And Ignatius too. I mean, Ignatius opened up his new university, Balaman in Lebanon, and he told all the students that the face of God was in every human being, regardless of their religion. He said, you will write the love that you have by how you interact with others. And that faith is not something just in a book, a religion not a book. It's how you embrace the other.
So compassion then would be a willingness to negotiate with others. Maybe I feel that my feelings have been hurt, or that someone has hurt my feelings, or someone has done something against me. Instead of letting that well up as a resentment, the compassionate thing to do would be to confront them with compassion, to confront them with gentility, and to say, this is what's going on, can we negotiate? Can we negotiate how we resolve it?
Okay, why don't you conclude your thought on what is compassion and how does one live a compassionate life?
I think one lives a compassionate life by being fully mindful and present in the moment and aware of what's going on around you, so that all of your focus isn't on yourself and all of your focus isn't outer directed, but it's a combination of the two. That's my definition of compassion.
Okay, thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, even for your opposition.
That was nice.